Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Himanshu Arora from Department of Anthropology, University of Delhi. Today we are going to start a module titled Biological Aging from paper Biosocial Gerontology. First of all, let's start with the learning objectives of the module. These include to understand biological aging, to comprehend changes in different body system with aging, to know intervention towards healthy aging. Now, we'll take over a glimpse to the introduction. Gerontology is the study of biological, psychological, medical, sociological, and economic factors having an influence on old age. Biological aging involves knowledge and research findings concerning the biological processes involved in aging. Although aging is an inevitable in all living beings, it is not a uniform biological process. There are marked inter and intra-species differences in the rate of aging. There are also differences with the single individual in the rate of aging of various body structures and functions. For instance, the reproductive system in humans usually ages more rapidly than the nervous system and respiratory or digestive systems. Now, we'll discuss biological aging. Aging has been defined as an intrinsic, inevitable, and irreversible age-related processes of loss of capability and increase in vulnerability. Aging involves physiological changes that lead to a functional decline with age, which in turn leads to loss of equilibrium between different physiological systems and their capacity to respond to environmental challenges, that is, homeostasis. Organs functions are gradually weakened with age, resulting in an increased predisposition to diseases, which is responsible for the exponential increase in the mortality. Any organ system, or tissue can fail because of aging. For people over the age of 85 years, heart diseases are the major cause of death, responsible for almost 40% of all the deaths, followed by cancer, cerebrovascular diseases, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson diseases, infectious diseases, and diabetes. Aging among humans include changes at different levels. Age-related changes include morphological, functional, and physiological transformation. Changes in physical appearance like wrinkles or gray hair are more visible than other physiological changes. Most of the body functions begin to decline linearly after reaching peak performance in the third decade of life. Due to loss of muscle and bone mass, aging is also characterized by weight loss. Other changes of aging include a gradual reduction in height, a lower metabolic rate, and a longer reaction time, etc. Data from national and global level indicates an increase in the percentage and share of the elderly population, which is projected to increase further. The population increase will be accompanied by a simultaneous increase in the number of people suffering from age-related diseases like osteoporosis and Alzheimer's disease. Despite the progressive decline in the function associated with aging, many elderly individuals remain cognitively sharp and physically active. These people are generally considered the fortune recipients of good genes, although others cite a lifelong healthy lifestyle as the key to successful aging. An increase in proportion of the elderly make it increasingly important to understand the aging processes and to promote the lifestyle choices that maximize not only the longevity but also the quality of life during aging. Chronological age is a risk factor for functional impairments, chronic diseases, and mortality. However, there is a great heterogeneity in the health outcomes of many elderly. Some individuals appear frail, require assistance in daily routine, and some at similar chronological age are quite physically active and mentally. There are several existing predictors of aging, where the most plausible is the epigenetic clock and telomere length. Different body organ systems undergo changes with age, which are briefly discussed. Aging and the endocrine system. Some of the hormonal secretion declines with age. For example, growth hormone levels decrease, leading to a decreased muscle mass. Aldosterone levels decrease, making dehydration more likely. Aldosterone signals the body to retain salt and water. Insulin, which helps control the sugar level in the blood, becomes less effective with age, and less insulin may be produced. Insulin enables sugar to move from the blood into cells, where it can be converted to energy. The changes in insulin mean that the sugar level increases more after a large meal and takes longer to return to normal. Most of the people do not show noticeable effect on overall health but due to changes in endocrine system. But in some people, the changes may increase the risk of problems. Now, the changes that take place during aging in the reproductive system. The reproductive organs of the human female exhibits a rate of aging that is among the most rapid of body systems. Aging in the female reproductive system provides the best example of programmed aging in mammals. For many other organs, particularly the heart, brain, lung, and kidney, specific diseases states associated with aging are of more significant than generalized deterioration. The most serious complications of menopause are osteoporosis and a decline in cardiovascular health. The Framingham Heart Study demonstrated that men have 10 times the incidence of heart attack as compared to women between 35 years to 65 years. This can be accounted to estrogen, which protects the females against heart diseases. Estrogen level elevates HDL, cholesterol, and reduces LDL in the bloodstream. Among women, an accelerated loss of muscle mass and strength occurs at an earlier age than in men, around the time of menopause. This possibly makes females weaker at 65 to 69 years of age as compared to the men aged 85 to 89 years old. Functional declines in kidney, pulmonary, and immune functions are also frequent. Now, the cognitive changes that take place during aging. Mental health is a major concern of elderly because memory and cognitive impairment are associated with human aging even in the absence of a disease. There is sufficient evidence that alterations in brain structure and function are intimately tied to alterations in the cognitive function. Cognitive decline is inevitable, but the extent to which it occurs and the rapidity of onset varies among individuals. The cognitive decline is neither uniform among people nor it is uniform across the different cognitive functions of the brain. The inter-individual variability in cognitive functions is due to biological, physiological, health-related, environmental, and lifestyle factors and mechanisms. Cognitive decline systems include slower inductive reasoning or slower problem solving, diminished spatial orientation, declines in perceptual speed, decreased numeric ability, and losses in verbal memory. Among these, the verbal ability is least affected or it may even have improved with age, whereas the spatial orientation suffers a severe drop with age. About 2% of neurons are lost on average between ages 20 years and 90 years. Those over age 86 years show an average 10% decline in brain weight from age 20 years. And age-related declines in the volume of gray matter in association area of the cerebral cortex was reported. Now, dementia. Dementia is a term for a group of symptoms that affect the ability to think so severely that it impairs one's ability to perform normal daily activities like eating or getting dressed. Dementias are more common among the elderly who develop cardiovascular diseases. There is sudden reduction in cerebral blood flow, brain oxygen, and glucose utilization after the eighth decade of life, although most dementias are due to Alzheimer's disease. At least 20% of dementias are due to strokes. Presently, more than 3.7 million elderly people, 2.1 million women, and 1.5 million men are affected with dementia in India, and it is projected to be doubled by 2030 as per ADI 2015. The prevalence of dementia increases gradually with age, and higher occurrence is reported among older women than men. These gender differentials can be explained by the fact that women live longer in India. However, gender is a risk factor for Alzheimer's or other type of dementias among elderly. The World Alzheimer's Report highlights the importance of comorbidity in the causation of disability and dependence. People with dementia generally have serious comorbid physical health problems which contribute to disability and need care. Dementia has emerged as the leading independent cause of both disability and dependency, followed by limb weakness, stroke, depression, eyesight problems, and arthritis. People with dementia have progressively severe problems with functions like memory and language, or they may lose their ability to solve problems. Dementia can also cause personality changes or difficulty in controlling one's emotions. Some of the symptoms of dementia include recent memory loss, difficulty performing familiar tasks, problems with language, time and place disorientation, poor judgment, problems with abstract thinking, misplacing things, changes in mood, personality changes, and loss of initiative. Now, Alzheimer's disease. According to National Institute of Aging, Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia among older people. Alzheimer's disease is an irreversible, progressive brain disease that slowly destroys memory, language, thinking skills, and the ability to plan. Over time, the ability to carry out the simplest tasks of daily living is lost. In most people with Alzheimer symptoms first appear after age of 60 years. Risk factors for dementia can be classified as modifiable and non-modifiable factors. Understanding the modifiable risk factors would help in selecting the intervention strategies. Understanding the non-modifiable risk factors would help in selecting the high-risk groups and planning targeted preventive interventions. Modifiable factors are age, family history, ApoE4 allele, gender, depression, head trauma, mutation on 1, 14, and 21st chromosome, Down syndrome, vascular disease, hypertension, diabetes, dyslipidemia, nutritional deficiency of vitamins, smoking, alcohol, obesity, and diet. Alzheimer's disease individuals in late stage lose the ability to carry on a conversation or respond to their environment. On average, patients diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease die about 8 to 10 years after symptoms become noticeable to others. There is no cure for Alzheimer's disease, although several drugs have been developed which may slow the progression of the disease. Now, aging and cardiovascular system. Cardiovascular disease is a major cause of disability and premature death throughout the world. The debilitating and often fatal complications of cardiovascular diseases are usually seen in middle-aged or elderly men and women. Total cardiovascular risk depends on the individual's particular risk factor profile. sex, and age. Cardiovascular risk is higher for older men than for younger women with few risk factors. Cardiovascular disease is the most frequent cause of death among those over age of 85 years. The left ventricle of the heart increases in size with age, that is called hypertrophy, due to an increase in size of the heart muscle cells with narrower blood vessels with reduced elasticity. Arteries thicken with age, such that about 3/4 of the elderly people have increased blood pressure. Now, the aging and skin changes. Human skin is frequently exposed to the air, solar radiation, environmental pollutants, and other mechanical and chemicals which are capable of inducing the generation of free radicals as well as reactive oxygen species of our own metabolism. External skin damage may develop due to ionizing radiation, severe physical and psychological stress, alcohol intake, poor nutrition, overeating, environmental pollution, and exposure to ultraviolet radiation. Among these environmental factors, the ultraviolet radiation contributes up to 80% damage to the skin. Ultraviolet induced generation of reactive oxidative stress in the skin develops oxidative stress when their formation exceeds the antioxidant defense ability of the target cell. Aging of skin is classified as chronological aging and photoaging. Collagen and elastin also cross-link in skin, resulting in a loss of elasticity. The protein keratin in fingernails is also a component of the outer layer of skin, which provides waterproofing. The epidermis thins with age, leading to wrinkles. Decreased secretion by sweat glands increases vulnerability to heat stroke. When the melanocytes, that is, cells that produce the skin and hair coloring substance melanin associated with hair follicles, cease functioning, hair turns white. Partial reduction of melanocyte function results in hair that appears gray. There is a little alteration of thermoregulation with age among the normal elderly. Now, the musculoskeletal changes that take place during aging. Aging is associated with a natural decline in physiological functions, including a loss of bone mass density, muscle mass, and muscular strength. The decline in muscle mass is not linear and does not occur at the same rate and age in both sexes. Decline in muscle mass may be in line with the decrease in estrogen that characterizes menopause. The decrease of estrogen contributes to the loss of bone mass density. The redistribution of subcutaneous fat to the visceral area, the increased risk of cardiovascular diseases, and the decrease in quality of life. The negative impact of menopause on women's health are intensified due to the decline in estrogen, which may also have a direct effect on muscle tissue. Comorbidities like malignancy, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, congestive heart failure, inflammatory bowel disease, and rheumatoid arthritis also contribute to muscle mass and strength loss with aging process. With aging, the amount of fibrous protein material, that is collagen and elastin, also decreases in the skin. There is a decrease in subcutaneous fat and muscle tissues, resulting in loss of skin to lose its elasticity, develop wrinkles, and sag into folds. The ability of the cells to retain fluid declines in old age, resulting in making it less flexible and dry. The use of sunscreens containing para-aminobenzoic acid, which blocks short ultraviolet rays and or oxybenzone, which blocks the longer wavelength as well, is recommended for both older and younger individuals. One of the great challenges of aging process is declining muscle mass and loss of strength. Besides the physiological loss of strength and muscle mass, sarcopenia is a syndrome characterized by progressive and generalized loss of skeletal muscle strength and mass in elderly. Sarcopenia is connected with physical disability, poor quality of life, and death. The criteria of the European Consensus on the definition of sarcopenia comprise low muscle mass, low muscle strength, and low physical performance. Loss of flexibility of the proteins collagen and elastin in the lung results in loss of elastic recoil. It becomes too difficult to fully exhale, which reduces air exchange, reducing the capacity to do work. Oxygen to tissue transfer rate is often halved by age of 70 years. Bone is made up of 25% water, 30% soft tissues, and 45% mineral deposit, mostly calcium. Both men and women lose bone mass between the ages of 39 years and 70 years, but postmenopausal women with reduced estrogen lose bone mass at twice the rate as men. Decreased growth hormone results in bone mass among both males and females. The physical inactivity and malnutrition, especially for calcium, vitamins D and C, may influence further bone loss. A reduction of height with advancing age with women shrinking more than men has been evidenced. Joints in the bones of inner ear calcify, contributing to a loss in the ability to hear higher tones. Loss of sweat glands in the ear causes ear wax to become drier and crustier. Wax obstruction reduces the ability to hear low frequencies. Aging and other body systems. The kidney provides perhaps the most striking example of individual variation in the effects of aging. On average, kidney weight declines about 15% between ages 40 years and 80 years. The kidney's filtering capacity for the average 90-year-old is typically half what is for the average 20-year-old, but high blood pressure and diabetes are particularly damaging for the kidney function. Aerobic capacity, that is VO2 max, which is liters of oxygen consumed per minute during peak exercise, declines increasingly steeply with age and declines more steeply in men than in women. Quality of life in old age is greatly influenced by functional health status, and a decline in functional status may be assessed by declining lung function and muscular strength with advancing age. Although exercise or habitual physical activity increases lung capacity at any age, but it does not prevent accelerated decline. Aging reduces salivary secretion, resulting in a drier mouth and decreased protection from bacterial infection of the mouth. Gastric juice volume and pepsin activity is reduced significantly by age of 60 years. However, it does not noticeably affect digestion. Absorption of vitamin D affecting calcium absorption, vitamin B12 and folic acid declines with age. Skin, lungs, muscles, blood vessels and organ function in general is adversely affected by protein cross-linking. Both protein cross-linking and cardiovascular deterioration are strongly influenced by genetics and environmental influences, that is, diet, smoking, etc. Generalized reduction in blood flow due to atherosclerosis also has an adverse effect on most organ systems, some more than others. Muscles in the iris of the eye atrophy and pupil size reduces with age. The lens thickens and becomes yellowed, reducing green blue violet discrimination. Collagen and elastin in tendons and ligaments become less resilient and more fragmented with age due to glycation, cross linking of protein by sugar. Articular cartilage become frayed and the synovial fluid between joints become thinner. Decline in circulatory function contributes to this process. Now, the biological theories. Understanding the aging process is important to know and treat age related diseases. Theory explains why different species have different rates of aging and it attempts to explain why we age. Theories explaining the biological basis of human aging are either stochastic theories that suggest aging to be primarily the result of random damage to the organism, or they are programmed theories which say that senescence is the result of genetically determined processes. Free radical theory, caloric restriction theory, somatic mutation theory, hormonal theories, and immunological theories are some of the common biological theories of aging. Now, biological anthropology and aging. Biological anthropologists have contributed to the study of aging, especially in the field of chronic disease, bone biology, reproductive biology, and body composition. Demographic transitions have led many researchers, anthropologists to examine aging more closely. Biological anthropologists have and will continue to contribute to the understanding of the causes of the increase in life expectancy in context of evolution. While estimated maximum lifespan has doubled from approximately 53 years from australopithecines to 122 years for modern humans. Intervention for healthy aging. Aging is inevitable, but despite the progressive decline in function associated with aging, many elderly individuals remain cognitively sharp and physically active. Maintaining a good network of personal relationships and regularly engaging in social and productive activities is associated with a decreased risk of cognitive and physical decline. Similarly, social disengagement, defined as having very few or no social relationships, is a strong risk factor for cognitive and physical decline. Thus, having friends, family members, and caregivers is very important for living a healthy life. Smoking causes ailments like lung diseases, heart diseases, and respiratory health problems. Smoking increases risk of heart attacks and stroke. It can lead to cancer of the lung, mouth, larynx, esophagus, stomach, liver, pancreas, kidney, bladder, and cervix. Smokers are more likely than non smokers to get the flu, pneumonia, or other infections that can interfere with the breathing. Smokers have a great chance of developing osteoporosis than non smokers. Cessation of smoking brings a rapid reduction in risk of stroke and myocardial infarction and a slower reduction in the risk of cancer. There are research evidences that engaging in leisure activities regularly reduces cognitive decline, especially with respect to Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Leisure activity can be physical activities and cognitive activities. Cognitive activities like perceptual discrimination, visual search, recognition, recall, spatial perception positively influence aging. Memory training through computer training, memory tapes, or games is helpful, which improves concentration, attention, relaxation, personal insight, self monitoring, motivation, feedback, and problem solving. Diet plays an important role in the prevention and management of cognitive and physical conditions, especially for aging individuals. Consuming too much or too little dietary substance can have detrimental effects. Undernutrition can lead to some types of dementia and can accelerate osteoporosis. On the other hand, overnutrition increases the risk of heart diseases, diabetes, osteoporosis, gallstone disease, hypertension, cancer, and sleep apnea. Higher levels of physical activity have been associated with an increase in survival, delay in progression of disability, and loss of functional ability, an improvement in balance and strength, reduction in incidence of fall and fractures, and better quality of life. The exercise restrains muscular, myocardial, skeletal muscles, oxidative stress, and inflammation associated with aging patterns. Exercise has an important role towards successful aging by helping in prevention and retardation of osteoporosis, fracture risk, prevention of colon and breast cancer, and the prevention of obesity. Now, we'll summarize what we have studied till now. Biogerontology came a long way in the 20th century by providing accurate descriptions of multiple aspects of biological aging, giving rise to evolutionary explanation for the existence of aging and showing the surprising plasticity of the aging process. The theories have been at the forefront of understanding old age. There is multiplicity of factors working together to facilitate optimal functioning well into later life. Genes and different environmental factors shape the aging changes. However, understanding of interplay among these factors is a key challenge. Aging includes internal and external processes that interact with each other. Human aging entails numerous biological changes leading to increased risk of diseases. The different body systems undergoes various changes with advancing age, including endocrine system, reproductive system, cognitive changes, cardiovascular system, skin changes, musculoskeletal system, and excretory system, etc. The theories explain much, but not all, of the changes across the lifespan. There could be much intervention for a healthier lifestyle. For instance, caloric restriction can increase lifespan, though often with undesirable side effects. Thank you.